to the Yorkshire Leaders podcast. Today's guest is part of a business that's quite literally been the fabric of Farsley in West Yorkshire since 1829. He has, together with his team, hosted filming for everything from Emmerdale, Heartbeat, and even the Great British Sewing Bee at this cultural community space with an amazing history. Listeners, today please welcome Mr. John Gaunt from the positively shining Sunnybank Mills in Farsley. Welcome to the podcast, John.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for inviting me. And it's a privilege to be on the same podcast as all those other great Yorkshire leaders that you've been talking to over the years.
Well, you're becoming part of a big group of people now. So we're really looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah.
Now, listeners, I'll be 100% honest. We've already done this podcast once, and my technical know-how unfortunately let us down the first time. So I am going to ask John some amazing questions today, and I can promise you he's got a really great story to tell. So John, tell us about a day in the life at Sunnybank Mills. What is it? Where is it? I can see on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, you will too. John has a fantastic background of some incredible heritage buildings, I guess we'd call them. I'm guessing from the name they are mill buildings as well.
Yeah, so what are we? We're a 10-acre Victorian textile mill based in Farsley, which is 6 miles between Leeds and Bradford. So we stopped manufacturing in 2008, and we'll tell a bit of that story later on probably. But right now we are a commercial and cultural hub for employing over 400 people, over 100 businesses. We do everything from letting commercial space. We have a cultural program and a heritage program. A day in my life is incredibly varied. What did it start off this morning was, there's 400 people to manage, so there's site management to do. So this morning I had my yellow coat on and was out directing, setting up various teams to help keep the place in tip-top condition. Now I'm doing some leadership chat with Rachel. This afternoon I've got a viewing of one of our amazing spaces with quite an exciting company that I can't tell you about, but it's going to be good. We've got our arts team bashing out exciting exhibitions and events. So I lead those with my co-leader. I'll talk about that a bit later, Joint Managing Director William, and our great arts team. A bit later on I might be talking with our heritage team, our arts director and heritage officer, about developing our museum and archive offer 150 years of sort of textile history. Because all these things, we have to create all these things into forming a sort of sustainable future for Sunnybank Mills. That's my name, passion and aim, is to create a vibrant and sustainable future for these mills.
So it's like a mixed use office space plus this incredible heritage plus artists, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's absolutely open to the public. Yeah. I mean, I always joke that we spent 150 years trying to keep people out when we were manufacturing cloth, and it was a dangerous place. But now our gates are open. We have lots of sort of public-facing businesses, and you can come and visit. It is a mixed-use space, and that's part of the creating this sustainable future. We're not reliant on one thing. We're trying to give the whole place life, and that's where the arts and the heritage come in. And we've got the bedrock of the commercial offer, giving people a really aspirational place to work, close to where they live.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there's 400 people on site. I mean, that's a lot of people. Are they?
It's a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Are they in kind of offices? What are they all doing?
Yeah, they're in offices. We've got quite a big artist community. Got over 25 artist studios. But back in the day, the mills were home to over 800 people. That's something we're trying to get up to. I don't think we'll ever get there because we all drive cars and things now. We certainly want to be, up to 600 plus. There's a lot of space, a lot of redevelopment to go, but they're all, in their offices and in artist studios.
And John, I'm kind of, a bit of an old buildings bod, if you like. So just indulge me for a minute. Have you had to, in terms of renovating and, I don't know, is it listed and all of these things, to negotiate? Have you had to, I guess, renovating space to make it into something that's suitable for a creative business or an artist?
Yeah, and that's a large part of our day job. When you say what's our job, it's managing what we have here, but it's also looking to the future and renovating what's still to do. It's not listed. It's in a conservation area, which is good in a way. I mean, the main thing is we're always looking to the next thing. And even I tell people when they come to work at the mill, so this is a journey. It's a really exciting place to work and live because things are changing. One year to the next, there'll be a new building developed, a new facade emerges. So it's a continual sort of process that'll keep going. You know, we're only halfway through now. People think we're finished, but we are no way finished.
And you mentioned your partner William. Is he brother? Is it family business?
He's cousin. Yeah, we're
Cousin.
a family business established in 1829. So yeah, we've been manufacturing, doing textile activities here since that date. It's sort of been in and out of the family control as our fortunes have waxed and waned, and you know we've made millions and lost millions, but we've been here continually since 1943 making textiles, and then we sold that business in 2008, and along with my cousin William and co-leader, we're taking it into the next generation. So yeah, it's a lot of history here, and it gives it a real identity, which is something that people can really latch on when they come and visit.
And you can tell you're so passionate about it as well, and really a custodian for something that's been going for so long, but also you're reinvigorating the buildings and the landscape and the community there. I'm guessing there's some really great places to eat, and I'm a little bit partial to a coffee. Good flat white.
Yeah. Well, that's an important part of being custodian, isn't it? Getting a good coffee spot, but there was no frothy coffee in Farsley until about 2012. William and I, we took over a manufacturing business. It was our decision to, they call it pivoting? I don't know, change the business direction, sell off the family first business and try and do something different. So we're, really want to get it in the position that it's working well give it a sustainable future.
Where did you take your inspiration from when you decided to kind of reinvigorate it? Was there somewhere else you'd seen that was doing something similar? Was it on your travels? Had you seen other places? Do you go traveling to see what other cities and towns are doing?
Well, we spent about 2 years sort of traveling the UK, visiting other mills, talking to the mill owners, seeing what worked, what doesn't work. Every area has its particular type of mill, and they're all a bit different. The Manchester has the really big ones, which are bigger than ours, and the silk mills are much smaller. Ours is a nice middle ground, really. Yeah, we're lucky, really, because we survived a bit longer because we were making very fine worsted cloth. It's the top end of the trade, the luxury end. So we continued longer than a lot of our peers. So we had a lot more people to look at and think, go to Salt's Mill and I can see the art, the cultural works there. I can go to Dean Clough and see they've got a great mix. It's great to be part of that mill community, because we understand each other, whether we're big or small. Absolutely. And we'll always talk to mill owners, come and see us and let's trade notes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something, just from a leadership point of view, that all leaders have in common is there's always like a network of other peers around them. Learn from others' mistakes, make mistakes yourself, and then share them and just get where you want to go faster. Just in terms of challenges, obviously you've had lots of challenges with the project that you're working on a day-to-day basis. But is there anything that springs to mind where you look back and you thought, God, that was a bit of a failure, or you look back and actually it was a failure, but you learnt from it hugely? We
used to go and sell cloth around the Middle East for a couple of months a year, basically a suitcase full of wool patterns, and you'd go and talk to these very experienced sort of Arabic traders, really, who bought and sold cloth every day of their life. And I remember going to a meeting room and showing the collection and doing a deal with this guy, and he absolutely outmaneuvered me from the beginning to the end. And I did a deal on some bulk deal and some plain piece dyed cloth. And our agent was saying, John, you've never done that price before. And but it was all in the moment, and came out, and then I spoke to William, and he's like, we're going to lose money on that, John. I said, and it's embarrassing, isn't it, when you make a mistake and you're out in the field and you want to do your best, and that contract had to be renegotiated and things. But what it did teach me is that I'm passionate about the product we make, what we do, where we've come from, but my strengths are sort of people and product, not necessarily numbers. It's a great privilege to go into a family business. You're on a pathway to being, in my case, co-leading the family business, and you don't necessarily have a lot of training. You just have to do it, stick your net out, and hope for the best.
Watching.
I do remember the agreement was, my father and uncle and cousin back in the UK, they said, we're not out there. So whoever's out there on the coalface, you make the deal. We don't know what you're going through. So there was that support. Yeah. But it was. Well,
you thought you'd done a great deal. I mean, till you got home.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it was great fun. But it was, that you learned fast.
John, what sort of tools do you use to overcome challenges or stressful times?
Yeah, about 2019, I was sort of going through a bit of a tough time, and I just realised I didn't have anything other than family and work, and there's nothing in between, nothing for me. And it was it wasn't working. So I sort of developed a little package of sort of things that I do now. I'm quite keen on cold water swimming. I don't bang on about it.
Listeners, if you are actually listening in the car or just on audio, John looks incredibly healthy. So I was thinking something's working.
So you do get Yorkshire tan, as we call it. You come out
Yeah.
bright red. But it's definitely just, it's a reset for the mind. And, whatever you get out of bed, I was thinking about this morning. You just jump in the water and suddenly you're thinking about something else. I do like singing, find that a big release. I mean, I'm not a great singer, but I just enjoy it and I just sing locally in the choir with a really
good to sing with other people as well. It's really healthy for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a release. It's a release. I'm quite interested in breath and breath work and being conscious about your breathing and reading about that. I do follow Wim Hof. I don't follow him, no. I read his book and I do use his technique. It was a few years ago I read his book. James Nestor is another guy, good guy at breath. So that's just a sort of free resource that you've got that people don't think, oh, I need to buy something or sign up to something. It's like, no, it's inside you.
Yeah, it's just knowing how to use it. You need a few tips to remember how important it is.
Well, exactly. Just be conscious of remembering. Exactly. My main tool is just talking to my wife, really, and she's just giving a lot of keeps me grounded and tells me where to go and what to do, and just it's all about talking, isn't it? So those are just some of the things.
John, what sort of leader would you say you are? I mean, you mentioned you've got 400 people on site. Things are going right, things are going wrong. How do you kind of lead through that? What are your intentions as a leader?
I mean, it depends really on what I'm doing and who I'm dealing with, because I could, my day is so varied, which is great. Whatever I'm doing, it's absolutely always with kindness and consideration and humour. It's quite important for me. I feel that those two things are sort of my authenticity, if you know what I mean. They're just part of me.
I think if you're combining those three things as a leader, you're not going to go far wrong.
And I'm a big believer in kindness in business. I mean, I know business is, traditionally is about making money, and you've got shareholders, and we need to do that. And we need to create a sustainable future for the mills, and a large part of that is making money, but always has to be done through the lens of kindness. We've got a very competent team. I need them to have the independence I need to give them the independence to be creative, because we are a creative cultural organisation. So they've got to have that confidence to be creative and come up with great ideas that make this place absolutely buzz. We're a place of change just physically with what we're doing at the Sunnybank Mills. So, there's a focus from me and from William on the future and change, and inspiring the team to be comfortable with that and want to be excited by that.
The essence of business is change as well. Life is changing. It's always impermanent, isn't it? And needs and wants and people's likes and wants and your customers' likes and wants are always changing. So I think being comfortable with change is just such an important part of being in business, isn't it?
I know I came into a business that outside hadn't really changed for 100 years. We made men's suiting cloth the same way it'd been made for years. And it looked the same. We manufactured the same. I know there was elements of change. We're trying to get new markets, but it's such a U-turn from where we are now, and we really are it's all about change. That's what excites us, and that's what excites people who come to the mill.
Have you found, obviously, you've got your stay in your lane, you're good at one thing, William's good at other things. Do you complement each other as leaders, as co-leaders?
I've been working with him, since 25 years. William's got many of my best traits and lots more that I don't have, but we share a common passion for the mill, passion for buildings and culture, and for family business, and for sort of doing the right thing, and we respect that in each other.
John, do you have any books that you would recommend to other listeners or leaders or future leaders? Is there anything that you've really been inspired by?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this, because we've always sort of rowed our own boat here and made our own decisions, and I haven't read reams of management books. I was talking to you before about breathwork, and it's not a management book and a leadership book, but James Nestor read a book called Breath, A New Science of Lost Art, which just tells you everything you want to know about breathing and understanding how important it is in just your day-to-day life. And I found that a great education, really. You get to nearly 50 and you think, I've never thought about how I breathe.
That's it. And there are ways to breathe that can, empower you to feel better, to make your body work better, to make your mind be sharper. There's so much going on behind the scenes, isn't there, with breath?
Yeah, exactly. And
it contemplates.
And it can be really useful just in the little ways before you go into a meeting or before you're doing something you don't really want to do. Just take a moment. I mean, it's a bit more than just take a deep breath, which isn't strictly correct, but
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd
This is
recommend
right
that.
Yeah, right up my street, because I'm in the process of doing a breathwork course, which is run
Okay.
by, because found a lot of benefit with yoga.
Okay.
And it's run by two yoga instructors. And it's just incredible because there's about, I don't know how many different types of breath that they're teaching. And I said to my mum, who's, straight talking Yorkshire woman, I'm doing this breathwork course, do you want me to do a lesson with you in breathing? Because I was trying to find case study to teach. And she said, well, I've been breathing for 78 years. Why do I need your help?
Exactly.
So I thought that was quite entertaining, but yeah, it's not the same for everyone. And
no, but I think it's a free resource, and you just need to make advantage of what you've got right inside you, if you know what I mean.
If you could look back at your 21-year-old self, is there anything that you would tell him? What wisdom would you share with him?
There are a few things really. I would just say, perseverance is. If you just persevere, it's boring, but persevere. Whatever you're doing, if it's the smallest thing to the largest thing, just keep going at it, and you'll probably get further than a lot of people if you really go at it. And it's hard work to persevere. I have to keep reminding myself every day that job's not finished. Go and keep going at it. And really, as you're growing up, you're looking around, you think, oh, he got an A grade or she got 3 A's, and when you're going through the education process, it's all about results, isn't it? And you think, oh, I'm never going to be as clever as him. But really, perseverance gets you a long, long way.
And then you realise as you get older, that many people who are very successful actually left school quite early, or did things their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, what I consider to be, what you consider to be your weaknesses, you'll find that actually they have a flip side, and they'll be your biggest strength as well. So,
that's wise.
Yeah, well, it's something I wish I'd realised earlier.
If you had a billboard and you could leave people with just one message, what would you want people to be left with today?
Well, I mean, my wife always says to me, look up and look out and get on with it, which is what I need to do. Stop, don't necessarily just look into navel gaze all the time. Just get your head up, get on with it, and look out what's out in the world, rather than self-examining all too much. But also,
strong piece of advice.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, this is a leadership podcast, and I did a bit of a reading about leadership and thinking before I spoke to you, and there's just, you could spend a whole lifetime reading what other people think a leader should be, and I'd say, and then you think, oh, I should be like him or should be like them, but don't obsess too much about what type of leader you should be or what you think people, what people think you should be. Just concentrate on what you're passionate about and do it well with purpose, and people will follow you. I'm passionate about the mill and Sunnybank Mills, and that's what I want to do, and bring it life back to it, and people seem to love that. So
that's fantastic. So John, we want to all come visit. How can we find out more? Where do we come? Is there a website? Are you on social?
Yeah, well, we have our website, sunnybankmills.co.uk. Just put it into Google Maps and get yourself here. That's the main thing. Once you get here, you won't want to leave. There's plenty to do, whether it's looking at the art or the history, or visiting some of the shops, or having a great coffee. And we've got a great deli and a pizzeria. We've got somewhere you can have a microbrewed beer or some gin. There's loads to do. Yeah, all our socials on Facebook and Instagram. But we're
something for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And John, have you got sort of events coming up? Are you planning things around different times of the year, or is there anything coming up that we should be aware of?
Oh yes, now you got me. I should have looked at this in advance, shouldn't I? Yeah, we do. we just have four or five main events a year. So just keep an eye on our socials. The next thing coming up is it's called Threads, which is a textile festival, all things to do with textiles, which is 7th to 9th of June. And these are great events because the whole site's open, not just us doing our thing, but all the businesses are open, got the best clothes on, and the best stuff out, and there's loads going on. So yeah, 7th to 9th of June for Threads, and then we have a Heritage Weekend of September and a mega Christmas market just before Christmas. So those are the things to hang on to. They're just great fun.
Fantastic. So it's sunnybankmills.co.uk.
Yes.
Go and have a nosy now.
Yeah, do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, John, for your time. We've really enjoyed it today.
And thank you, Rachel. It's been great fun, and it's been good to delve into what it means to be a leader again after a few years.
Excellent. Best of luck with it all. It sounds like you've got your work cut out, and you've got some exciting things coming up. It looks like an amazing place, so I'm really looking forward to a visit.
Love to see you. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Thanks a lot, John.